what is actually allowing people to reach their next level? It really comes down to this one main idea that I'm about to share with you on today's video. And once you get this, you will never look at life the same again. How can I help my clients have a bigger, better, or faster transformation than ever before? That has been the profound question that I've been asking myself for the past several years. And it has led me to the most profound answer that I will be revealing in today's video for you. I used to work with my clients for 6 months to a year. And throughout that time, they would have some profound transformations. In fact, several of my clients completely transformed their lives, and they were never the same again. However, it would take a lot of energy, right? It was like weekly calls, an hour, sometimes 90 minutes, and it was a lot of effort to help people get to their next level of breakthrough and new perspective for themselves. And so I started asking myself that question several years ago: can I help people transform bigger, better, and faster? And what would that look like, right? What it led me to is starting to ask the question, can someone experience that same level of transformation that they had in 6 months or a year? Can they experience it in 3 months? Or could they experience it in 1 month? Could they experience it in 1 week, in 1 day, 1 minute, instantly? So I started to really think about this and figure out, all right, what is actually allowing people to have a transformation, right? To reach their next level. And it really comes down to this one main idea that I'm about to share with you on today's video. And it's this idea that the challenge you're facing right now is actually the invitation to your next level. In other words, it's the opportunity for you to evolve into your next level. And so after 15 years of studying everything you can imagine, from the human body, health and nutrition, to personal development, habits and behavioral science, to psychology, mindset, and neuroscience, all the way to energy, manifestation, consciousness, all of that and everything in between. And it all comes down to this thread that I've found that's woven throughout everything that I've learned. And once you truly understand it, it will change the way you look at every challenge, failure, adversity, setback, and every next level that you have in your life. And it all comes down to this principle right here. Every challenge is an invitation to evolve. Sit with that for a moment. Every setback, every disappointment, every fear, every pain, every imbalance, every trauma, every obstacle contains the raw material, the seed for your next level. But here's the problem. Most people spend their entire lives fighting the very thing that could transform them. They avoid it, they suppress it, they distract themselves from it, they numb themselves from it, or they try to push through it or pretend it's not even there. And because they do all these things, they don't fully transform that thing that is sitting there, inviting them to their next level. So in today's video, I want to show you why every challenge you've ever experienced is actually the path to your next level. It's not a path, it is the path. Until you face whatever is keeping you stuck, whether you are aware of it or not, right? So there's some ideas that some things are unconscious or subconscious to us that we're not fully aware of, especially trauma from when we're younger. We might have stored that in our subconscious mind and never fully processed it or allowed it to be processed and resolved. And so that's exactly what we have to do in order to transmute that energy into your next creation and into your next level. Until you do that, it's going to keep you stuck. Okay, and I'm living proof of this, and many of my clients are living proof of this. And I actually want to share with you my exact story and how I was able to transform and transmute my stuck energy into creating my next level, and how I continue to do this on a regular basis. Because every next level brings with it a new set of challenges and obstacles that you have to overcome and face. And the same process you're going to take, you're going to apply to every next level that you have and every challenge that you ever face. So I want to start by sharing one of my biggest traumas or problems or challenges that I faced in my life, and that was the death of my dad. I lost my dad to pancreatic cancer when I was 15 years old. He was only 42, and this was in 1996. And that experience was one of the most traumatic experiences I've ever had in my life. And I didn't know it at the time, but that planted a seed, and it was a seed of loss, abandonment, fear, uncertainty, right? I was 15 years old. I wasn't sure what the rest of my life was going to look like without about my dad and really grief. And I didn't know it at the time, but it would lead me to my next level after about 20 years later. And so for the couple years after my dad passed away, it was a really difficult time in my life. I was super depressed, and I like to think that I was able to process my grief and work through it, but I didn't really truly do it all the way. I was able to still move forward in my life, right? I met my beautiful wife. We had children. We bought our home together. I had built a career. I was actually an IT professional for about 19 years prior to doing coaching and helping people the way I am now. And so on paper, everything was successful, right? I had the career, the wife, the kids, the home. However, I had this unresolved energy that was unconscious to me at the time, and it was actually preventing me from moving forward in my life significantly. And I only know this because when I started to make the shift to change my career from an IT professional into a full-time coach, I was hitting these major blocks and barriers, and I just could not step into that version of myself significantly. It wasn't until I started to do this work myself and uncover what the true challenge was, and not just the challenge of like, all right, I know I have to set up a new web page and a funnel and all these things, right? The real challenge was the energetic block within me. But it comes down to whatever challenge you're facing right now and the energetic component that's unresolved. And so, for instance, let's just say you're facing anxiety on a regular basis, chronic anxiety. Well, that exact thing that you're experiencing is your invitation to your next level. It is the path to get you there. And so instead of avoiding it, instead of pushing it down, instead of numbing yourself to it and trying to push it away, we want to face it head on. We want to start to understand that the things you've been through were not happening to you. They were happening for you. They are for your greater good, actually. And it's just that you have to process them properly and you have to transmute them fully so that they can turn into something bigger, better, and greater for yourself. Well, for my dad, this happened with me. And it wasn't until I fully processed that emotional energy that was stuck within me. And I didn't even know what it was. What I called it at the time was devastation. I was devastated when my dad died. And that's the energy that was stuck inside of my body for nearly 20 years until I learned how to get rid of it and resolve it and let go of it. And so now that's what I teach people. I've dedicated my life, and it is my mission now to help people transform their lives and to do it bigger, better, and faster than ever before. And so now that's exactly what we're doing. Every program I've ever released over the past several years, actually over the past nearly decade, my latest and greatest one is the fastest one that will allow you to reach your next level faster than ever before. And it is within an hour. I call it the identity breakthrough experience. And it is a very powerful thing I'm taking a lot of my people through right now. And it is transformational. I'm super pumped about it. But the idea is this right here. It's you have to learn how to let go of what is there. And there's many tools to do it, actually. So I've been on this journey for nearly 15 years. I've learned lots of ways to help people release energy and to let go of whatever's keeping them stuck, right? And on our channel here, Mind Body Evolution, there's a lot of videos where I talk about this, but there's one in particular. It will help guide you through whatever's there for you, okay? And then it gives you the opportunity to let go of it and to finally just resolve, make peace with, accept whatever is sitting there. And it's often unconscious for people. They don't even know they're holding on to certain things, right? With my actual coaching, I help take people through this on a much deeper level. But the challenge you're facing, the pain you're feeling, the anxiety, the grief, the imbalance you're experiencing in your life is your invitation, and it is your path to your next level. And so now, using any of the tools that I have or from any other person's tools that you might learn from, you can fully process the energy that's there, transmute it, and turn it into usable energy to create the life of your dreams. And you know you do this properly when you can conjure up the memory of whatever it is, whatever the challenge is, and you have no emotional charge to it. So Dr. Joe Dispenza coined this quote that I love, and I always refer to it. It's the memory without the emotional charge is wisdom. You're getting wisdom. You're becoming enlightened as you resolve these traumas and these challenges and these problems in your life. and you fully release them, you now are becoming ready for your next level every time you do this type of work. And that's literally 95% of the work I do with people, is helping them overcome these invisible barriers, these invisible ceilings that they keep facing. And it has to do with this idea here. I want to leave you with one very powerful, and it actually helped me overcome my own trauma with my dad. And that's what ultimately led me to becoming a coach and teaching about this stuff. And I call it the apology letter, or the forgiveness exercise. Okay. And all you're going to do with this is whatever memory that still conjures up an emotional charge for you, right? For me, it was my dad. Whatever it is for you, the people involved with that thing, we want to write an apology letter from them to you and write exactly what you need to hear from them. So for me, my letter, I'll tell you right now, it used to make me cry, but I've fully processed my emotional energy, and so I can share it now. But my exact letter, when I did this for my dad, was, Tone, I'm so sorry I left you and Angie and Mom. I never wanted to leave you guys. I'm so sorry that I abandoned the family. Right? That's kind of how I felt at the time, right? And I continue on writing this letter, and I didn't even know I needed an apology from my dad, right? As I'm doing this exercise, I'm understanding, oh my gosh, there was a lot of unresolved energy that was there, right? And so I did this apology letter. Try this for yourself. I'm telling you, write every single thing you need to hear an apology from. Everything you need to be able to start to forgive and let go of whatever happened. And then the last step of this, once you fully write this letter, you're going to reread it to yourself, or even have somebody read it to you, and imagine that that person who hurt you or whatever they did to you, whatever they caused you pain, right? Imagine they are reading it to you and begging for your forgiveness, or to at least understand that they're human and that they made a huge mistake and it was not personal. There's a lot of these perspectives that I teach people. Those are like several of them actually, but everyone's human. Nothing's ever personal. And so if you could just bring yourself with this little exercise to this idea that you can let go and make peace with and accept, right? I had to make peace with and accept my dad's death and his passing officially. It took me 20 years to fully accept it and make peace with it and let go of that energy that was there. By the way, letting go, I cried like a baby. So if you have an emotional release, that's great. That is your body's innate mechanism for releasing energy, especially that type of energy, okay? I cried like a baby for 5-6 minutes and released everything that was there. And when I came out of it, I now charged that memory and that cord to my dad's passing with a new level of understanding, a new level of compassion for my dad, actually. And I understood he's only human. He didn't mean to die. He didn't want to die from pancreatic cancer. Who would want to, right? You know, I started to humanize him, and he didn't do anything wrong to me. He didn't intend to hurt me and abandon us. He was human, right? And so I used a few of those perspectives to help me overcome that. And it allowed me to literally become a coach and start mind-body evolution. That's how this whole thing came about. And so now I'm on this mission to help people level up like never before. Bigger, better, and faster, like I said in the very beginning. And now we really are. We're doing it. It doesn't take a year. It doesn't take 6 months. It doesn't even take a month if you do this properly, but it could take you as little as an hour with one of my new sessions. And if, by the way, if you're ever interested in that, just reach out to me, comment below, right? Hey, I'm interested in this identity breakthrough experience. Love to learn more about it, but it's on my webpage, mindbodyevolution.com, and you could check it out there. But man, I'm taking people through it right now, and it is incredibly powerful. So my hope for you is that you don't remain stuck. Don't push it away. Don't avoid it. Face it head on. You can do this. You are strong enough to do this. And let me tell you the strength that comes out of it afterwards. Once you become enlightened, in other words, once you learn about something, become aware of something, you can't unlearn it. You can't become unaware of it anymore, right? That is powerful. And so that's what I want for you, to become a powerful creator of your life and to be uninhibited by the things that you've been through, your past, your traumas, whatever you've gone through. Understand they didn't happen to you, they happened for you. So listen, with that, I'm going to conclude today's video. I'm really pumped about what I'm going to be sharing on my YouTube channel here in the near future. So if you're not already subscribed, really consider subscribing. It's going to be incredibly powerful, and I want to help transform millions of people's lives. I really do. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you throw a like on it and share it with anyone else who might need to hear this. Okay. But with that, I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video.